Hi guys, the time is here, the best part of the year. By the time you're watching this video, we're probably a week or less away from EDC. Sorry if there is any background noise at all in this video this year. I'm currently in a building where I don't know how to turn the radio off, so my apologies. But we're gonna jump right into it. Hopefully this video won't be an hour long like it was last year. Some of the topics that we're gonna go over today. We're gonna talk about carpool and hotel logistics. We're gonna go over our potential Vegas activities and pool parties. We're gonna talk briefly about the schedule again, how it's made, what are the factors that go into that, and we're gonna talk about shuttles. And we're going to talk about what to do when we get lost, how to find each other. Alright, so here's some information for those of you who are in my carpool. We're going to begin the carpool starting 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. By the time we pick everyone up, I anticipate that we'll be hitting the road by 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. Last year, I was the only licensed driver in the car, so the fact that we have 4 drivers with us this time is very exciting for me. So I have separated the road trip into 4 separate driving shifts. I already have our stops picked out in advance, but of course we could stop at any point if anyone needs to use the restroom or whatnot. I'm gonna very briefly describe these driving shifts so that you could pick your preference if you would like. Shift number 1 is gonna be from San Jose to Coalinga. We're gonna be driving through 101, 152, and I-5. I would select this shift if you like driving on an open road with hardly any cars on it, and also towards the end of your shift, the sun will be rising or about to rise, so I always think that's very pretty. Also, maybe if you want to just get the driving over with and then relax the whole rest of the way, this might be the shift for you. Shift number 2 is going to be from Coalinga to Tehachapi. You're going to be driving on I-5 and I-58. You might pick this shift if you also like some of that dusk and sunrise vibes, but it'll also be completely during the daylight instead of driving through the night. Shift 3 is going to be from Tehachapi to Barstow. It's going to be on I-58, and this is actually going to be the shortest shift at 1 hour and 22 minutes instead of about 2 hours and 15 minutes like the other shifts. And the reason for this is just because after Barstow, the gas prices get considerably higher until we get to Vegas again. And shift number 4 is going to be on I-15 from Barstow to Vegas. You might probably pick this shift if you like driving in Nevada scenery, and will also be the most awake and the most hype. So if you enjoy that, then I'll consider that as well. For gas, instead of doing the whole Venmo thing, I do much prefer the times when we just do a fill on rotation. We'll probably fill on a set number like 25 or 30 each time, so we'll take turns with each person doing that. For a hotel, we're going to be staying at the Signature at MGM Grand. Sorry if there has been any miscommunication, but I would like to clarify that the unit contains 1 bedroom with 1 king bed and then a little living room area with a sofa bed. To Andres and JJ, the king bed is all yours, and also in the bedroom we're going to be putting 1 air mattress, and in the living room we're going to be putting another air mattress as well. This unit is apartment style and has a kitchenette, so I definitely recommend us bringing some groceries and some snacks to supplement us throughout the trip. Unfortunately, this hotel does not include complimentary breakfast like it did last year, and although that was super lit, we're gonna be happy to be making our own eggs and waffles in the morning. This year, I'm so excited that we're staying a few extra days because I love Las Vegas. I could never get sick of it because there's so many activities to do. And next, we're going to be talking about what some of those activities might be. Here is a quick overview of what has already been planned. Any place where there are question marks, that means that those time slots have yet to be planned, and there's a lot of miscellaneous various options that we can go over of what we might be able to do. The following slides will contain some ideas. Keep in mind that these are just suggestions, and these are suggestions of mine and of honesty. First, let's talk about food. My recommendation is that we only eat out around 4 to 7 times throughout our whole stay in Vegas. I know that for myself, the rest of my meals will be made and prepared at the hotel. Definitely take this opportunity to bring groceries or buy them on our trip. Now, there are 7 of us, and there are 7 days that we're staying. So, in my eyes, that means that we each get a restaurant pick. I'll be asking each of you if you have a preferred restaurant once we're there, but it's alright if you would like to forfeit your restaurant pick because we don't necessarily need to eat out every single day, especially because during EDC we'll be sleeping in a lot. But I think only in fairness sake that we each should have a pick. Maybe even on a day that we're not going to EDC, we might eat out twice instead of eating out every single day. Here are just a few suggestions from myself and Honesty. We are likely to hit a few bars throughout our stay. Here are a few recommendations, starting with Ghost Donkey at the Cosmo. It is a speakeasy style bar with a focus on tequila and mezcal. Next is Sky Bar at Waldorf Astoria. This bar is 23 stories high with a view of the Las Vegas Strip. There is also -5 Ice Bar where everything's made of ice there, and there's 3 different locations throughout the strip. There's also Level Up, which is another arcade bar. I'm not sure how much you guys would be interested in this bar after we already have plans to go to Area 15, but this bar is at MGM, so it's very close by to where our room will be. And they also have a virtual reality game as well, I believe around $50 for half an hour. Shopping is another possible activity that I would recommend early on in the trip, either Tuesday evening or early Wednesday morning. I definitely know that we're going to be going to a pool 3 or 4 times during our stay. So I'm going to be definitely feeling like, uh, do I need another swimsuit? Do I need more clothes? Do I need more cover ups? Do I need more sandals? I noticed one of the things you had on your list, Honesty, was the Grand Canal shops. And this shopping plaza does look a little bit bougie for me. I don't know, maybe you got it in the bag like that, but it's also possible that you meant that as more of a browsing, strolling around, hanging out, sightseeing activity. I also understand that there's a -5 bar there, and there's also the karaoke place that you want to go to is in that plaza as well. Also, a few more places that we might possibly go. That's a little bit more Forever 21, a little bit more H&M. One option would be the Fashion Show Mall, and another option would be the Miracle Mile. I am certainly also down to go thrift shopping if you guys want to go on that adventure. I'm not sure if there's any thrift shops on the strip, but I'm definitely down to drive off strip as well. So I'm still trying to decide if this will be or won't be within my budget this year. There are definitely budget friendly options, but I'm thinking about having maybe a spa day slash massage day. It's possible that those might be two separate days because I feel like getting a spa treatment is better before EDC, but getting a massage is better after EDC. So let me know how you guys feel about this. If this idea does pique your interest, you don't necessarily need to get spa treatments to have a spa day. There are potentially some places or facilities that we could go just to lounge and relax at a spa. For example, go into some saunas and etc. So let me know. In some brief research, I have seen massages go for as little as $100. Also on Groupon, there's some that go under $100, not necessarily on the strip, some maybe a few miles off strip. I've seen them go as low as $60 for an hour massage, so that's definitely an option. Or if we're just more looking towards a relaxing hot tub sauna experience, there's a lot of places that offer day passes that cost about $50. Although I will say it is better value if we found a place that we wanted to book a service at that also has a day spa as well, because usually entry to the day spa costs one service basically. We can also potentially see a show or two. There are various comedy shows that I see on Groupon that range from roughly $20 to $50. I have also seen a mentalist show on there. And if you don't know what a mentalist is, it's basically someone who does cold reading or basically performs quote unquote psychic abilities on stage. I'm also interested in Cirque du Soleil's Mad Apple. That is the most budget friendly Cirque du Soleil show. Another possibility that kind of fulfills my acrobatics craving would be the show at Lost Spirits Distillery, which is in Area 15. If this is something we might be interested in, it is cheaper than the Cirque du Soleil show as well. And we don't necessarily have to go do this activity on the day that we plan to go to Area 15. I'm down to go to Area 15 twice just because there is so many options there of things to do. Maybe Monday night would be a great day if we decided to do this, or even Thursday night, because if we see the distillery show, that also means that we're gonna be at the distillery. So drinking definitely comes with that experience, and I think we're more likely to be down to drink before EDC as opposed to after. Really, when it comes to shows, guys, I'm fucking down for anything. I'm down for anything kitschy, anything weird, like a tape face, or whatever you guys find. Even if it's a bad show, like we can just see it and watch it and laugh about how bad it was. So let me know, you guys. Okay, I am someone who just fucking loves roller coasters, and there is the Big Apple coaster at New York, New York. It costs about $20. There is the Claw Arcade, which is a little bit off strip. This is one of Honesty's recommendations, and oh my gosh, it's so cute. I can just picture us on the drive back home. You just see the silhouette of like a giant ass Pokemon just in the back of the window. It's all squished up. Of course, I'm absolutely positive there are also smaller prizes that we can aim for. So don't worry too much about that. Another option is the Flamingo Wildlife Habitat. Now, this activity does not cost anything, you guys. It is 4 acres of gardens, wildlife, waterfalls, streams, and low key, guys, we could go visit this any day that we have free time. But also, It opens up at 7 a.m. So technically, guys, if you wanted to, we could go to this place after EDC is over if we're feeling like, hey, I don't want to go to sleep yet. I bet you that shit would be peaceful as shit at 7 a.m. Nobody's awake, nobody's around, except for all the crackheads. And by crackheads, I mean us. I just had an idea. Imagine if we wanted to go to another bottomless mimosa situation, but first we went to this wildlife habitat and we pulled like all, well, it wouldn't be an all-nighter, it would be an all-dayer into the next day of EDC type of deal. That's just what I'm picturing in my head right now. Lake of Dreams is a free spectacle show at the Wynn. There's a lot of other free spectacle shows at Las Vegas, but a lot of those, they've been running for about 20 years, and to me, a lot of them seem to be a little bit outdated. But the Lake of Dreams is relatively new, relatively modern in comparison. Viewing this for free does require a little bit of strategy because there is a limited places where you can see this. But I have been doing some research, and there are places besides restaurants and besides bars at the Wynn where you can see the show. I have read that there are a few other interesting displays at the Wynn, including an atrium garden, a floral carousel, and a dueling piano show. So those are just a few other things that might pique your interest. Now we're going to talk about pool parties, and I'm super excited for this. For all the years that I've been to EDC, not one time have I been to one, so this is going to be a new experience for me as well. So far, I have signed us up via guest list for 2 events at Wet Republic. Thursday morning, we will be going to All for House. Playing will be Vintage Culture, Medusa, James Hype, and Claptone. Sunday morning, we'll be going to One Day Only, and the lineup is going to be Twin Sick, Disco Lines, B2B Shipwreck, and Loud Luxury. Because of some confusion about how they worded the rules on the website, I did place 2 extra female spots in our booking for One Day Only. So if you happen to make any new friends, if you meet anybody at EDC, if you guys make a rave bay and you want to invite them, I just want to let you know that those 2 spots are there and they are available. We're going to get to these events by 11 a.m. Technically, the range of time goes until 3 p.m., but they do recommend getting there at 11 a.m., 1, to avoid the crowds, and also it's not necessarily guaranteed that we're going to get in if it's too overcrowded. Even if you buy tickets, it's not necessarily guaranteed that you'll get in if they hit capacity. Now, I just want to clarify that I did read some conflicting information about whether or not an even ratio of men and women is required to enter. If that is necessary, we can definitely, or I can definitely put in some effort on Radiate to find people on there who might want to join us, or we can walk around and see if there's anyone in person who might want to join us. But in any case, even though I tried to call them, their customer service line seems not to be really in operation, but I can try to see maybe the day we arrive or Wednesday I can go to Wet Republic, or I can go to someone representing them and ask them what exactly are the rules so that we know. There is a dress code at Wet Republic. It is more focused on men's attire. For women, it's going to be a little bit more lax. But basically, no dress shoes, no boots. You can wear sandals, but you can't wear socks with sandals. Sneakers are fine, but there's going to be no jeans, no cargo pants, no basketball shorts, no jerseys, no athletic attire overall, no sweats, no drag references, basically like no weed leaf or anything like that. That's the only thing I can picture one of us might have in our wardrobe. As for us ladies, we're not supposed to arrive in just a bikini or swimsuit. We're supposed to arrive in a cover-up just because we will be walking through the casinos and whatnot, and that is frowned upon in the casinos. Also, we cannot bring our own personal towels into the event. I'm thinking that we could have one person be like a backpack or purse holder, so that if, say, we did want to get in the pool, we can leave our belongings with that person, our phones and such, our IDs. To my understanding, I believe that Wet Republic might have lockers as well. Like I've said before, this is my first time going to something like this, so I'm not super familiar with all the ins and outs, but that's what I know of so far. Furthermore, if you guys are interested, me and Honesty recommend one more pool party. It would be the Lost in Dreams Night Swim. The lineup is amazing. Tsunami, Pauling Air, Kayvon, Blank, and Arm & Hammer. So basically just going to be a bunch of melodic dubstep and the like. This one, unfortunately, we won't be able to guest list for. This is something that we're going to have to purchase and pay for. It's going to cost about $50. And it's not at Wet Republic. It's going to be at Daylight Beach Club at Mandalay Bay, which is a 30-minute walk from the hotel. Lastly, for this section, I will briefly touch upon Area 15. Once again, please do check out that link I sent you if you have not yet at this point in time. I was just putting down in my notes everything they had to offer, and my head was just spinning. It took me so long just to write it all down and check all the prices and everything like that. And by the end of that, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to talk about every single one of these options in my presentation. Y'all better just look it up yourself, honestly. But we basically have a whole bunch of things like virtual reality experiences, augmented reality experiences, things that you can walk through and look at that are artistic, psychedelic, LED installations. There's one with like a bunch of lasers and stuff like that. There's also a zip lining thing, an axe throwing thing, a panoramic thing that you see the view of the strip. So once again, we will sign up for maybe 2 to 4 of these experiences, depending. There is an arcade bar where they will be playing tech house music and bass house music on Wednesday night that we will be there. I'm very excited about that. And like I've said before in the presentation, I do not mind going to Area 15 twice. I'm down with however you guys feel about that. So let me know. We definitely are not at a lack of other options. It's just whatever you guys prefer. I'm going to do a quick recap about how exactly the schedule is made, what factors go into making the schedule. I spoke at this more in depth in last year's presentation, so upon request, if you would like, I can provide you with the link and the timestamps to look at this section if you'd like to know a little bit more about this. Basically, my aspirations when making the schedule is to make sure that there's equal representation of everyone's picks, also to retain as much as the group as possible, and then also to make it a little bit more easy to find each other. This is a 3-day festival with many stages, many sets, many DJs, and there will definitely be schedule conflicts. One of the main factors that I look into when creating the schedule that addresses schedule conflicts is the point system. Basically, I asked you guys to give me your top 10 list of sets, with number 1 being who you want to see the most and number 10 being who you want to see the least. I assign your whole list a set of points, with number 1 receiving 10 points and so on. Here is an example of my top 10. It is a little bit different than the first top 10 I showed you guys, and I might change it yet again just because I do want to see if there's a Corona stage this year, and I would really like to see a set there. So if I do see that, or if I see the equivalent to that, I might change one artist off of this list. Now I do add up all of our points collectively, and the DJs with the most amount of points are who are most likely to see, and the DJs with the least amount of points is who are least likely to see, but that doesn't mean that we won't see them. That just means that if they conflict with a higher ranking DJ, then we're not likely to see them. I'm going to quickly flash through the other factors that I take into consideration besides the point system. And at the end of this section, I'll be going over a quick overview of what each day might look like for us. I take into consideration timing, which means I will not split a set in half. If we cannot see at least 40 minutes of a DJ, it does not make it officially onto the schedule. Next, I do consider location. I do avoid taking us from a set at one end of the festival and all the way to the other end of the festival for the next set and all the way back to the other end. I try not to bounce us around in far apart locations too much in a short span of time. I do consider that. I also make sure that everybody is represented. For example, if someone were to get 9 picks on the schedule while someone else were to get 3, I might make some adjustments just to make sure that we're all on an equal level on who we get to see. Last year we had a Schedule A and Schedule B that I created as just kind of a suggestion side quest schedule because our group was super duper large. So that's why I made that. This year our group is actually a very manageable size. We definitely don't need that type of coordination there. Also, something else I'm not including this year because of our size is blocks of 3, which basically meant that I was trying to have each day have 3 sets in succession at one stage, just so that people can move in and out of the group. But this year I would actually like to try something a little bit different, and we're going to call that Adventure Time. Basically, my aspiration is to have a block of 90 minutes to 2 hours at least twice throughout the weekend where there are no sets scheduled. Basically, this is a space for us to dig around and go wherever we want to go. Maybe go to some stages that aren't on the schedule because I know that there's a lot that we don't really get to. For example, Neon Garden is the tech stage. We never ever have techno picks on our list, so that might be a place we would go. There's also Bionic Jungle, which is a house stage that we don't have in terms of our picks. We don't have any picks playing at Quantum Valley as far as I can tell. And there's also a lot of other small areas, small stages. There's the art cars, which might not necessarily be represented by our picks. It's hard to tell at the time that I'm making this recording, just because a lot of that info will be released once the set times are released. But in terms of Adventure Time, I'm not even talking about just the music, but I'm also talking about like going to see other parts, going to downtown EDC, going to wherever they have that karaoke, which I think is downtown, going to maybe see that dating show, going to eat some food, going to ride some of the rides, going to just relax, hang out, going to the bathroom, going to buy merch, whatever it may be. Hopefully we have this block of time set aside so we can do that at least a couple times. We'll see how it goes. Because in my opinion, I definitely think that the music is a high priority at a music festival, and I will never just remove someone's pick entirely in order to make this block of time. However, let's say, for example, that there's 2 sets that conflict with each other for about 30 minutes. I might pick the set that allows more of a creation for this space on either end. And I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but hopefully you guys know what I mean when I say that. If one set we want to see starts at 11 o'clock and another set we want to see starts at 11:30, and we already had free space around 10 o'clock or 10:30, then I'm going to remove the one that starts at 11 o'clock. Hopefully that makes sense. But keep in mind, all these factors that I just listed are more secondary considerations. The point system still does matter a lot in terms of if one DJ has 30 points and another has 10, I'm not going to swap them for each other. Obviously, we're going to go for the one that has 30 points. This is more if two sets were very close in point ranking, say within 5 or less points of a difference. I absolutely love that. At a group of our size, there's not going to be as many conflicts as there was last year in terms of who we're going to see. So here is a side-by-side comparison about who we're going to see each day, how likely we are to see each set. Like I said, this might change very slightly once I see if we have a Corona stage. Also, I know we're kind of late in the game at this point, but at the time of this recording, I really cannot decide if I do or do not want to add Ray Volpe onto my list, just because he is playing at a later festival I'm going to. But I wanted to see him so badly. Primarily, my methodology is that if I see a DJ once in a year, I do not make it a priority to see him or her the rest of the year. But I might make an exception because I've been playing Ray Volpe on fucking repeat for the past couple months. So just letting you guys know, there might be last minute changes. Sorry about that. I usually don't like to be last minute about this particular type of thing, but yes, keep that in mind. I would also like to note first that I know on one of our lists we had Medusa. However, I did not include Medusa here just because we are going to be seeing Medusa at All for House on Thursday morning. If we were to also see Kayvon at the night swim, then he'd probably also be off of this list as well. Just of a few of our top picks for Friday: David Guetta, Sullivan King, DJ Isaac, Yetep. At a whopping 31 points, our top DJ for the whole weekend is Excision. We do have 2 opportunities to see Excision: Saturday night with a B2B with Tian Timmer, and also Sunday night as well. We'll definitely be seeing one of those sets depending on which has less of a schedule conflict. Zed is also very high on our list with 25 points. Zed was high on our list last year. I think he was one of our top 3 picks. And, his set was great. You know, I didn't like Zed the first time I saw him, but last year, EDC, chef's kiss. Another one of our top picks on Sunday is going to be Sudden Death, B2B, Marshmallow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that one as well. When we were at the cafe the other weekend, they dropped 2 Marshmallow songs. I basically lost my shit. Marshmallow is who I saw when I went to my first rave at Audiotistic, so his songs are very nostalgic for me. That was when I was a rave baby, and everything to me was all brand new. So I'm very excited for this set. And also, I've never seen Sudden Death before. He's also been on my list, so very excited. We also have 2 opportunities to see a Slander set that day as well. So honestly, you have my Scout's honor that we're gonna fucking see Slander. Sunday, it looks like a lot of our picks are at Circuit Grounds, so I see there being a lot of less conflict that day. Now we're talking about shuttles, and hey, I know we've been low-key stressing about this, and honestly, I wasn't sure if we were all gonna get one, but we all have one. That's magnificent. I'm so happy about that. Now, some things may change between the time I'm making this audio and the time we're in Vegas for EDC, but at the time of this recording, all of us have a Premier Shuttle Pass, except for one of us, unfortunately. Paul seems to have a standard shuttle pass at the Tropicana, but hey, not to fret. Tropicana is only a mile away from the signature. You could also Uber if need be, but hey, it's only a 13-minute walk. I would take that walk. You just have to leave slightly earlier than the rest of us, but not too bad in the end. This year, I would say that our goal is to be ready by 7 and then make it out the door by 7:30 p.m. That way we can very leisurely, casually stroll on the way to our shuttle stop. Again, because we all have Premier passes, it doesn't really matter too much what time we make it there to our shuttle. I believe for those of you who have shuttle passes at a different location than Midstrip, I believe that means they might put you on a standard shuttle instead of the Premier shuttle. Honestly, we'll just have to see what the whole ordeal is like on the first day. Even if they were to try to separate us because of the way we have our shuttle passes, I might just go on the standard shuttle with you guys, just to make it less complicated, and just to keep us all together, so we're not spending as much time looking for each other. Once we do arrive at the festival, we're gonna go to our meeting spot. But our meeting spot this year will be different, and we'll talk about this in the next section. And now we are nearing the end of our presentation. We're going to talk about lost and found, how to find each other, and how to stay together. Our meeting spot will be different this year. Last year, Renee was telling me about how she's always trying to convince people to pick a meeting spot that is where is known to have Wi-Fi. So I was talking to her this year and I was asking her, where is that spot? And oh my gosh, I am currently realizing that they do not have the map ready yet this year. This same time last year, I'm pretty sure they had it up for weeks, but they don't have the map out yet, and I can't properly circle or show it to you. So this is something that I'm gonna have to show you guys when it gets a little bit closer. But basically, the spot is gonna be at the terminal. Hopefully that is still what it's called this year. That is what it was called last year. And basically it's in the center of the festival. On the very first day of the festival, we're definitely going to go straight there. I will also try to point out some landmarks on the way there, so that you can remember where we're going. But this is going to be our meeting spot throughout the weekend. So we're going to try this out and see how we like this one compared to last year. Like I said, I have heard before from Renee and other sources that there has been Wi-Fi in this area. Of course, that's not going to necessarily help us if our friends are in a different area where there's not Wi-Fi. But we do know that once we get to this area, we'll start receiving, hopefully, prior messages that had been sent to us. So it should make it a little bit more easy for us to find each other. Right, honestly, I know that getting lost was a big concern for you, so I definitely do have some tips for you. And then also I have kind of a new addition to the buddy system, I suppose. For one thing, a big source of how we find each other is that totem. And there's a reason that JJ spent $400 on a totem, is because it's a pretty high quality one. Like, I just saw the video that he sent me was like a couple hours ago, 90 minutes ago, and it looks amazing. It's definitely different from the totems I had in years past, you know. It's bright, it's bold, you can see it from afar, I'm sure of that. I will also have a little mini totem with me as well, a little light stick. It's gonna look something like this. Actually, I'm pretty sure you've seen me use it before, so you already know what it looks like. I'm gonna change the color day by day to match my outfit, so I'm excited about that. Also, keep in mind, another tip is if you are concerned about getting lost, always take someone with you when you're stepping away from the group. If you feel like you're really fucked up, or feel like you're not quite sure how to get back to this area because we've only been to this area once, or we've only been to this stage once, and you're not really sure where the bathroom is, and you think you're gonna get lost, just take someone with you, you know. Also note, inside the schedule will be scheduled meetups as well, where we're gonna meet at our meeting spot, so keep in mind for that. And like I've touched on before, another reason we have the schedule is so we can find each other. If you know that we're supposed to be at XYZ stage at XYZ time, then you can follow that in order to find us once again if you're not sure where we are, or if you missed the meeting time. Definitely that can be used as guidance. This year, again, let's stick to stage right. Keep that note in your mind, stage right. I said it a few times last year, and people didn't necessarily catch it the few times I said it, so I'm going to say it again. Let's stay on stage right. That is the right side while facing the stage. I know last year I said that quite a few times, and still, at Kinetic Field, motherfuckers want to enter all the way from the other opposite damn side. I don't know why. But basically, every time you enter a stage, just understand we're going to enter from the right side, so enter from that side as well. And we're just going to understand that that's the general vicinity we always want to be in, so we know we're not going to look in the total opposite direction of where the group might be. I'm just now realizing that in theater, stage right means something else. So if you know what I mean, just ignore that. We're talking about right side, stage facing. I do want to try something new this year as well. I'm going to call it a timer set. Basically, what this means is that when you walk away from the group, just tell someone, hey, set the timer. We'll set the timer for 90 minutes. And the reason why I say 90 minutes is because I feel like that's a good time frame to know that you're almost definitively lost. I feel like anything less than that, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, means maybe you got distracted, or whatever you were doing took a little too long, right? But I feel like 90 minutes, you're definitively lost. I feel that also it helps the fact that 90 minutes, you know, is going to be a different set than the one that you left from. I think that it might try to cause some confusion to look for you if you're at the same set. Just because I feel like there would be confusion in not realizing you took as long as you did and coming back to the stage, and just a back and forth of us barely missing each other, right? But whenever you say set the timer, that means someone's going to set the timer to 90 minutes, and then at the 90-minute mark, one person, it could be two-person, you know, just to keep it at a buddy system level, but one or two people will come and meet you at the meeting spot in 90 minutes to come find you. So I think we'll try that out this year and see how we feel about it. Also, my tips for you as well, just try to study the map a little bit before you go into it when the map is released. Just take a look, because there are some pretty good markers, like for example, Daisy Lane has a bunch of daisies along it, and Rainbow Road has like rainbows on it. There's things and features that kind of help you to understand where you're going if you're paying attention and if you look in advance, especially after the first day. The first day might be very confusing for you, all the stimulus, everything brand new and things such as that. But once you get to the second day, you saw what it looks like on the map, you saw what it looks like in person, you've already been all around it one time, then you'll get the hang of it. And me having gone as many times as I did, I very much have the hang of it. So hopefully I can help you out. If you are lost, I'll be there for you. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching. This should be out before the next candy party, so that hopefully you can ask me any more questions that you have, or we can discuss some of the things that were talked about. You guys can throw in your own ideas and suggestions. I'm so excited, you guys. Happy EDC. I can't fucking wait.